Good morning, Wake Forest Baptist family. Everybody's an expert these days, and I'm not one of them. Yeah, I hear so often on the news, and it kind of captures me that experts ought to be speaking out on the issue of the pandemic and how to respond to it. And I hear quite often that religious leaders, because we are so trusted, should be speaking more to their congregations about what you ought to do. Let me just say, I've never been comfortable with preachers who know more about everything than I know about anything, and who stand up in the pulpit and act like as soon as I say it that you're supposed to just follow right in line. I've never wanted to be that kind of preacher. So when it comes to the pandemic, just like you, I'm a fellow struggler far more than I'm a medical expert or a scientist or an infectious disease expert. I'm not any of those things. I'm trying to figure it out and navigate it the same way all of you are. But the one truth I've just bet everything in life on, and only one thing I will speak with authority, is to give my life to Christ and to trust Him to be the ultimate Savior and the only one that I can count on for all of life. So, what I want to do with this video is speak maybe publicly for the very first time about my response to the pandemic and what I believe is the way to go. Having said that, I'm not saying it as far as what you ought to be doing. And I'm really wanting to speak more what I kind of find myself thinking is a Christian posture towards how we are to relate to other people who we find don't share the same opinions that we do. And so three words come to mind: humility, respect, and being informed. Humility. Quite frankly, I realize every day I'm not smart enough to know what the exact answer, how we are to respond to the pandemic. So I have to go as you do, with the best facts, the best wisdom, the best studies that are made available. And then I decide what is going to be my response. In other words, I'm doing the same thing every one of you are doing. As the pandemic and now the Delta variant just continues to spike in awful ways, I have found personally my response to be prudent to get vaccinated. That's where I believe is my best response. But having said that, I have a daughter in Florida right now, is one of the worst areas in the whole country. I'm glad that she's vaccinated. But given everything that I see and everything that I know, I quite frankly do hope that you will be vaccinated as well. But for me, it's not as much not only wanting to get the virus, but it's very much just like you not wanting to give it to someone else. So that's the way I have decided to do that. But remember, I talked about the word humility. And the second word is respect. Humility reminds me that I'm no expert. And I could very well be wrong. I know that people who are vaccinated can still get the virus, of course. All the studies show that. People I love, people I could not respect more, come out on the other side of this. And I think it's important for me as a Christian, and just as a person, it's so important that I listen and learn and believe that everybody I meet can teach me something. It doesn't mean I have to agree with them. I also often think we would all be better off if we would just listen a little bit more and talk a little bit less. You know, that old line, God gave us two ears and one mouth, so we listen twice as much as we talk, is maybe something to think about. But to me, respect does not require agreement. That's a very important line. I'm a Baptist pastor. Trust me on that. I know about that. I've never yet been a part of a church where I agree with everything that went on with it. But respect is the twin sister of humility. I'm still opening myself to new discoveries. I'm still entertaining possibilities, and I may be totally wrong about COVID every day. And I hope you will at least have that openness as well. And the last of all is to be informed. I think one of the great tragedies of this pandemic is how much misinformation there is out there between conspiracy theorists, between so-called news channels, between social media. It's unimaginable to me some of the things that are being cast out there as truth that people are getting sucked into that's just beyond anything that even relates to truth as we would have it. So God gave us a mind. He said we are to love the Lord our God with all our heart, soul, and mind. My favorite book dedication of the thousands of books I've read, this book is dedicated to Aunt Edna, who taught me that the tomb is empty and my mind need not be. We are given a mind. We are to trust those who do science and medical experts. All this is gifts, the way God works through things. So, in closing, there's a lot of controversy over mandates. Should we have mandates in our schools, in our places of work, in our restaurants? Should we have mandates in our church? Let me say that we at Wake Forest Baptist, our regathering team, we are urging you more than ever to start wearing your mask again for all the indoor activities at our church, including worship. We're not mandating it. We're not policing it. Everybody is certainly welcome whether you wear a mask or not. But we believe, as we did for months and months in the fellowship hall, you all did so well with that, that maybe with things getting worse, that it's time to put on the mask again and come back in the sanctuary and worship together with that kind of capability. And again, we offer the 11 o'clock worship outdoors. And for all ages, it's a safer place even yet for those who don't want to come inside. But keep informed. But ultimately, we do have a mandate, don't we? Every Monday, Thursday, we're reminded of that. A new mandate, Jesus said, I give you, that you love one another. That's the great mandate we can all give ourselves to. So I hope to see you this Sunday. I missed a lot of you. I hope you're watching online, but there's something about being in worship. And we're doing everything to keep things safe. We've ventilated the room. We have space for everybody. But humility. I don't have all the answers, and I'm not telling you what to do. Respect. I respect everybody in this church and want to learn from you and continue in all things. And just be informed is so important. So love you. Have a good day.